Welcome back to Folk Solo Sports Show. All right, let's talk about John Wall going to the Houston Rockets with James Harden and trade for Russell Westbrook going to the Washington Wizards. Okay, first, John Wall has always been a good player. He gets injured a lot. He's been that guy. He can carry a team. He can be that first guy, but he's never had that second guy that can really elevate him and take him to the higher level. Get to the playoffs, get to the Eastern Conference Finals, and really put in work beside another star player. So now he'll get to perform that with James Harden. He averages 9.2 rebounds in his career, which is more than Russell Westbrook did. So I don't think he'll mind passing to James Harden and letting James Harden gun it and do whatever he wants with the ball. But that will play a good part because when James Harden goes to sit down, if John Wall's still out on the floor, he still averages 19 points per game in his career, which isn't, top 20 of the superstars in the league, but that is still good enough. Some nights he'll drop 25 points, and that's still good enough for the Rockets to come up with a lot of wins. Okay, so good trade for John Wall going and playing with James Harden. One aspect, but on another, it's not because John Wall. They say that some people just aren't the guy. They're not that first guy. I believe John Wall could have been if he would have ever got a very good center like a Blake Griffin or Dwight Howard. I believed he could have been that, and he could be that first guy. Okay, but he didn't. So now he'll be going and taking the second guy to James Harden, which at this point in his career isn't a bad thing. So it's bad because I feel like he can be a leader, but it's not a bad thing because at this point in his career, he's going to get a lot farther with the Rockets than he ever did with the Washington Wizards. Now, for Russell Westbrook going to the Washington Wizards, this is a bad trade for Russell Westbrook. This is better than him going to the New York Knicks, but it is still extremely bad because the Washington Wizards will not get anywhere. They won't even make it to the playoffs. If they do, it will be the 7th or 8th seed, and he's not going to be able to carry that team like he did OKC to the playoffs a couple seasons. But he had a lot more pieces around him that could help him do that in the OKC. Here with the Washington Wizards is not the case. And he averages more points than John Wall did, but less assists when he played with James Harden. Him playing with James Harden, he only averaged 7 assists playing with James Harden. And this is why I say whoever is in charge of what goes on in the Rockets organization, whoever is calling the shots should have said, Russell Westbrook and James Harden, neither one of you are going nowhere. Okay, you're both standing here. Y'all hyped it up about coming and play with each other, and now that y'all are playing with each other, y'all want to leave after one season. Russell Westbrook only averaged 7 assists with James Harden and didn't want to play off the ball with James Harden, which is supposed to be his childhood friend, and couldn't manage to average more than 7 assists. But his last 4 years in OKC, he averaged 10 10.4 assists. 10.4 assists, and the last 4 seasons was OKC. And then you get a dynamic duo in James Harden for the second time in your career, and you only average 7 assists because you don't want to play off the ball. He just completely messed up his shot of getting farther in his career, even accepting that. Like I heard another analyst say, he should have just kept quiet and stayed on the Rockets because this is bad for him. Now with Klay Thompson out, the Warriors won't get to the Western Conference Finals without Klay Thompson, okay? And whoever thinks they will, you're just out of your mind. You're crazy if you think that's happening. That's not happening. They're not getting there without Klay Thompson. Steph Curry is great, revolutionized the game, but he's not getting there without his right-hand man in Klay Thompson. I'm sorry to break it to all the Warriors fans, okay? So he could have stayed with the Houston Rockets, and that just upped his chances. Okay, Denver's getting better. The Mavericks are getting better. You got the Utah Jazz. You got the Clippers. But still, you already made the second round just the season that passed. It's not like y'all got beat on the first round and got sent home. Y'all made it to the second round and played against the team that won the NBA Finals. That's not such a bad look to me. This season, you would have probably got farther and probably would have knocked one of them off and been playing the Lakers in the Western Conference Finals this season, which everybody think they will reach. So if I'm in charge of the Rockets, I tell James Harden and Russell Westbrook that they're not going anywhere, and I make both of them stay. And I tell Russell Westbrook, yes, you have to play off ball, and I need you to average that 10 assists again like you did the last 4 years in OKC, and average a little less points with a little more assist, since you can't shoot the three and James Harden can shoot the three. You average more assists. James Harden averages his 35 or 40 points or something crazy a game, and you average about 15 to 20 assists or something crazy, and y'all work together like that. And Russell Westbrook is still one of the best drivers, one of the most explosive people to the hoop, and he can get it done. He's known to be one of the best drivers to the hoop, not on LeBron James level, but certainly in that top 10, going to the hoop, getting the ball in, and James Harden isn't as good as him at that. So when James Harden isn't knocking down his threes, that's when you let Russell Westbrook have the ball and drive it to the hoop and do his thing. And when he's not doing well, that's when you reverse and you go back and you depend on James Harden's three and Russell Westbrook getting his assists while Harden gets his points, okay? But they didn't do that. They let this opportunity pass them up, and now it's going to be a very bad experience for Russell Westbrook with the Washington Wizards. 7th or 8th seed. You got to get past Brooklyn, Boston, Miami, Milwaukee. I know there's a couple other ones I'm missing who, it's just not happening. The Raptors, it's not happening, okay? He won't get anywhere with this team, and I think he needs to do whatever he can to reverse this trade as soon as possible, or do whatever he can to get to another team before it's too late and he wastes another year. He's 32 years old. People say he's not so worried about getting a ring, and he's already known as the triple-double king. No, every NBA player wants to have a ring, just like every player in every sport wants to have a ring. You're not playing just to lose. You might be playing somewhat to get a paycheck, but you still want to win at the end of the day. It feels a lot better to win a championship to always get sent home while everybody else is still playing 40 more games or whatever. Okay? So that's my take on that. Let me know what you think. Do you agree that Russell Westbrook needs to try to get out of Washington as fast as he can, and shouldn't try to build there because the organization has been down so long, and he will have to make a miracle to bring the organization back up? Or do you think that he is going to take the team to the playoffs and do something with them? And do you think that John Wall is a better fit with James Harden than Russell Westbrook is? I don't think so, with being what I just explained to you all. But let me know what you think in the comment section, man. Like, subscribe, share the video, and I'll get back with y'all. This is Folk Solo Sports Show. Peace.